Hey, and welcome to another episode. I am Stuart, the One Thing Guy, and there's something that I want to ask of you. And really, it's a question. When you're putting your hard work to the grindstone year after year, I know it's a lot of hard work, but when you do a reflection, does it feel like you're making a huge amount of progress, or does it just feel like you're getting through the year with this slow progress? Well, this was a question that I asked one of my clients. And really, what I asked of them is every single year, and I've been working with them for nearly 4 years, every single year, we are seeing this particular growth with him and his senior leadership. But when we started to take it down to lower level staff that basically supervisors below him, etc., he actually got the feeling that many of them were burning out. And he asked me, what can I do? So the question that I proposed or asked him was, well, is it that your staff are working harder? They're getting everything done, but the progress, it just does not seem to be there. And his answer was yes. Well, in this session, I want to share with you 3 tips that really is going to help you if you feel this way, because it's not only for your staff, but it's for you professionally and personally. If you feel that year after year, you are hard at the grindstone, you're pushing yourself to the limits, you're making success, absolutely, and that's great. But the success seems to be in very small increments, year after year. And that entire goal where you had visualized your business to be at, you just seem to be a little bit behind. Well, it is not your fault. It's something that all you've got to do is be aware of. And what we do is we use this term that was shared with me many years ago, and it's called leverage. Now, that's what I want to share with you today, because it's leverage that helps you to exceed where you are right now to that next level. So if you are finding that finding leverage in yourself and your business is difficult, don't hesitate. You're more than welcome. Reach out to me at stuarthislop.com and go to the top right-hand corner and you'll see there's a button to book a free clarity call. It is a no obligation session. It's not a sales call. It's me helping you. And that's ultimately what I'm wanting to do. Help you to identify how to implement leverage into your business. So let's talk about leverage before I go through those 3 tips. Leverage is a key component of an operations of your business. Now, operations is all the day-to-day. It's all the nonsense. Well, we call it nonsense sometimes, but it's what helps to keep the engine running. So as an operations person and as an entrepreneur, you wear that hat as well, you've got to learn how to leverage. Now, leverage has 3 components to it. And these components, if implemented correctly, can make a huge difference to your business, even if you're a solopreneur or a multinational corporation. Leverage is that key that unlocks success. So as I said, leverage has 3 components. Component number 1, well, it's the most obvious. It's people. It's people within your organization that actually helps you to move the wheels forward. But people on its own can actually burn out. So what do we need? Well, with people, we need them to operate with certain tools. It's these tools that help them to do their job. So imagine a carpenter who's wanting to cut a piece of wood and he decided to pick at it with his nail. Well, that's not the tool to use. You'd need a saw, but you could have a sharp saw, a blunt saw. So the tool, it needs to be the right tool for the right person for the right job. So that's 2 of them. People, got to have them, and tools. The third, and this is the one that I want to say is the most important one, and it's systems. Systems is what you do to help something go forward. So, for instance, a system in a sales office is if a client lead comes in, a system would initiate, well, lead comes in, capture into database, follow up with client, sell to client. There's a system that gets put into place. Now, when you look at all three in almost a triangle, each one supports each other. The people need the tools to do the job, but they need the systems to do it correctly. A system, well, it needs people to actually do it, and systems generally need tools to actually get the job done. And the same with tools. Tools can't operate on their own. They need people to use them, but they need the systems to tell them how to use them correctly. So when you're looking at scaling your business, leverage is the key. And it has those three components. And if you implement that into your particular business, you will find how you can lift your business to that next level. Now, as I mentioned, if you're struggling to identify the leverage for your business, don't hesitate. Reach out to me. Go to stuarthislop.com. Top right-hand corner of the website, you'll see the button. Click on that button and book a free non-obligation call. And I will help you to identify the leverage that you need or lacking in your particular business. So let's look at the 3 tips that I want to share with you. And each one of them actually falls into each one of those categories: people, tools, and systems. At the end, I want you to identify which falls into which. So let me share with you the very first tool or tip that I want to share with you. And the first tip, and it's one that I share the greatest amongst all my clients, because we get so busy with all these different tasks, we always feel that every single task is important. The high priorities, the non-priorities, they're all important. Well, the first tip is to eliminate, and I'm using that as a hard word, eliminate the low value activities first. It's not saying that you're never going to get to it, but generally what happens when you tackle your high value activities first, you'll actually find something amazing happens. Many of your low value activities are actually included in that high value activity. And when you actually finish that high value activity, you go, oh, I don't need to do it anymore. So instead of starting by doing more work, eliminate those low value activities. Remember, we're all about focus. We want to work on the most highest value of activities to make sure that we complete them first. It's those high value activities that actually leads to success a lot quicker than those low value activities. Now, many low value activities, in fact, when I sit down with clients and I go through that list, are actually distractions. That's the truth. They're actually distractions. And the reason why they're distractions, they are things like, well, I need to double check my messages on Facebook because just in case there is an inquiry that comes through. Well, that's actually a low value task. You might think it's important, but ultimately that distraction is, are you really only going to check the messages, or are you going to go and check everything else and start doom scrolling? Even if it is for 5 or 10 minutes, those are 5 or 10 minutes that you're not going to get back. So tip number 1, eliminate low value activities. Get rid of them, delete them out. And the only way that you can do it, awareness. So back of your mind, I'm sure you're thinking, what of the 3 leverages is that one falling into? Let's have a look at number 2. And number 2 is automate repetitive tasks. So this is something that we find that we're doing things by ourselves. So one of the big ones that really comes out is when a lead comes in from a sales point of view. A lead comes into your business, you see the email or the message, and then an hour, 2 hours, a day later, suddenly I need to respond to these. So what do? You get in and you start responding to those emails and those messages. And again, it takes time. These are items that can be automated. Now, you might say, well, Stuart, no, you can't automate a sales call that comes in. But what you can do is you can actually automate the response. Because you might have a response or a lead that comes in at, say, 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and you're actually on your way to maybe a family function that's extremely important. And when you see that lead comes in, you kind of want to stop. You want to hesitate. What takes priority? Well, if you had an automated response, hey, thank you so much for your inquiry. We will be getting back to you within 12 hours. What you're doing is you're responding and you're setting an expectation. You see, when you set that expectation, the actual client is going to go, oh, that's great. Thank you very much. Or it could be an automatic response. Hey, if you're looking for sales, you can contact this. Or if you're looking for service, technical, and you can actually give additional responses. So too often, we take care of every response, every task, when there's many of them that can be automated. Another one that I work with, especially because we're being online, is clients that have a new customer that comes in and they're actually coming into a membership program. And ultimately, they take their details, they fill out their forms, they then send them the payment link, and then every month, they send in them those payment links. All of that could be automated. That could run in the background. So the second tip is to actually automate repetitive tasks. So look at your business. What is it that is repetitive? Something that you do maybe every single day at the same time, or maybe it's a sequence of events that happens once something gets triggered. Now, there's a big kind of, I want to say, a secret, or I'm dropping a bit of a tip there as to which one of the three leveragings it is. So the second, automate repetitive tasks to actually save you and protect your time. Now, you can use a lot of tools to do this. This will give you a little bit of a secret as to which one it is. You can use tools to help you with this repetitive tasking. So that's the second of the tips that I want to share with you. Then the third, and I'm sure by now you're kind of assuming which of the three leveragings I'm going to talk about, but the third one is delegate to multiple capacities. In other words, delegate to people. One of the things that I've always had, especially working with CEOs, they like to take the control of everything. They started as a small business where they did everything, and 10, 15 years down the line, they still doing those particular tasks and activities. And I say to them, well, it's time to start to hand them over, whether it's through employment, whether it's just delegating to somebody else. And I get the same response every single time. But Stuart, when I take this task that I've done for the last 10 years and I hand it, I'm losing control. Now that's a myth. You're actually not losing control. If you delegate it to somebody that you don't know or delegating it to your competitors, then you're losing control. But if you're delegating it to somebody that you have hired, what you're actually doing is you're actually doing what we refer to as leadership leveraging. You've hired somebody to do a job, but you're still doing it for them. Why did you hire them in the first place? You hired them because you needed to save time, to make your systems more efficient so that you could actually help to focus on the vision and grow the business. So that third tip, and it's one of the hardest ones, that's why I brought it in at the end, is delegate. Delegate to multiple capacities. Have a look at all of your tasks. We spoke about tip number one, eliminating those low value. Well, how do we eliminate them? We eliminate them by delegating them to somebody else, somebody that you've hired to do those particular jobs. Now, the big ones that always jumps out is things like your marketing and administration. Those are two big areas that takes a lot of your time. They do have importance, but they take a lot of your time. So you need to delegate those out to people. And that's going to actually help you focus on the revenue generating activities as well as growth. It's going to help you to grow. So there are the three. Now, let's go through them and see which one of the leveraging they may be. The first one is eliminating the low value activities. The second one is automating the repetitive tasks. And the third one is the delegation. Well, the third one, we can obviously see, that is people. Delegating to people. You can see you need the people to be able to leverage. The second, automating repetitive tasks. Well, the big key here is I said you need tools. So this is all about systems. When you start to automate anything, you're starting to look at step 1, step 2, step 3, or maybe there's a strategy that as soon as this triggers, this is what happens. So number 2 is the systems. When we start looking at eliminating those low values activities first, well, this can actually fall in 2 categories. The first is people, well, where you can delegate it off to somebody, just as you did in third, or it could actually be tools. You can actually have low value tasks that are actually done by a tool so that you're not doing it manually. So you can take each one of these particular tips and you can enroll them into your business to see how it can actually help you to that path of success. So just as I said in the beginning, you're working hard, you're pushing yourself, you're getting growth, you're having levels of success, but it just remains slow. It doesn't get to where you want it to be within 3 to 5 years. Well, use that simple term that I've shared with you, leverage. Leverage is about people, making sure you got the right people to do the jobs, making sure that you got systems to follow, and making sure that you got the right tools. When you look at those 3 areas, those 3 operational areas of your business, you will actually see how it can create this huge amount of momentum, not only for you to grow, but also for your business to grow. So here's a question that I wrote down before I came into this session. Where are you currently spending time that could be better leveraged? Where are you currently spending time that could be better leveraged? Because that's where it's going to start. When you set up a call with myself, that's going to my website, stuarthislop.com, and push on that button, that's the question I will ask you, so that we can identify it and then see, is it that you need people? Is it that you need tools? Or is it that you need some systems? One of those 3 is going to help you to move forward. So the quick tips, quickly recap. Eliminate those low value activities first, get rid of them and delete them. Automate those repetitive tasks so that it just becomes a much smoother process and that protects your time. And 3, delegate to multiple capacity, multiple people to actually help you to go forward. As in every session, I love to end with a quote. And this particular quote, well, I think is really appropriate. Success is about finding leverage and using it wisely. I'll say it again. Success is about finding leverage and using it wisely. So from this session, I'd love you to just take a moment. Just think of one thing that I've shared with you today and implement it in the upcoming days and week so that you can actually make that change for your business to move forward. Remember, learning, it creates awareness, but it's the actions that create results. Until next time, I look forward to seeing you in the next session. Cheers for now.